ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Super Bros. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Seth.
And as promised, we are back to discuss Star Wars The Force Awakens, the new film. This is a follow-up to our Star Wars special, where we analyzed the original trilogy and talked about Star Wars in general. This is going to be completely spoiled. Spoilers all over. So, turn back now if you've somehow, watched this far and have not seen our prior warnings.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but really, we're just going to talk about the movie, so...
Yeah, there's
more likely there's going to be some spoilers there, and...
Yeah, it's, see the movie, and then come and watch us.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, but... we should talk about how we saw it. Originally we said that we were going to see it together on Friday.
Yeah, but then someone had to be a turd.
Hey!
And get really excited for it.
I couldn't wait, so I saw that there were still tickets available. So I bought, a 10 p.m. ticket last night, Thursday. And you saw it today. Oh, I saw it in 3D.
Yeah, I did. I just saw it right. Actually, I got a confession to make. I was going to go see Star Wars today. But then I saw the Chipmunks trailer poster.
Yeah.
They were just too cute. I had to go see them.
You already made a chipmunk joke.
Well, no one else in this... And, the movies aren't making them. No, I went to the 10 o'clock showing this morning. I actually thought it was an 11 o'clock showing. And I just happened to look at my ticket around like 9 a.m. And I was like, oh, man, I got to go. So... And it was just a regular showing. It wasn't 3D.
Yeah.
Packed?
Yeah.
Mine was packed too.
Yeah, mine was, pretty packed, although I had almost the whole back row to myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There was no...
I showed up an hour early.
And you just did this.
Well, I did have to park, on the other side of the mall. But, yeah, so we haven't talked about it.
No, I have no idea.
Which was good, because I have no idea what Seth is going to say when I say... Seth, what did you think of Star Wars Episode VII, The Force Awakens?
Am I supposed to answer this?
Yeah.
Is this part where I talk or you talk?
I would like you to answer.
A line from the film. Actually, before I even say what I gotta tell you, man, I was dying to text you last night.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to know what you thought.
Well, I mean...
And, I knew you weren't going to answer me, but...
No.
I was really like, oh, man... Because here's the thing, I want nothing more than this guy to love this film, because I know how important the series is to you.
Well, it's sweet that you feel this way about me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want you to love it, and I hope you did. I really like this thing. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
What does that mean?
Usually I give things, 5 out of 5, 5-star ratings.
6!
Hold on. I don't break my own records. This thing's it's on a 4.5 right now, but it's teetering to the 5 out of 5. That's how much I really like this film. I thought it was a little slow at the beginning. I mean, a lot of stuff's happening, but that final third act, man, is pretty... We'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, what did you think of Star Wars Episode VII, Force Awakens?
Oh, I fucking hated it.
All right.
Yes.
Well, there went our no cursing policy, I guess.
I had to wait for the perfect moment to drop an F-bomb. This, appears...
I don't even want to do this now. Alright, well, you should start, I guess.
This is, everything I feared it would be. The...
Good?
No, that's not what I feared it would be, Seth. Huh. No, it's the marvelization of the Star Wars universe. Disney has... turned it into, just a commercial weapon, to make money. And, yeah, I'm very disappointed. The first 30 minutes I thought were great. I mean, you say they were a little slow. I was really drawn in. and I was pretty excited, pretty much up until the point when Han Solo appears. And then it sort of just kept going south for me the whole time.
I really don't want to do this now.
Oh no!
I really have nothing to say because you're just gonna be negative, and I'm not gonna be able to pull you around. And you're gonna call me an idiot because blah blah blah. And so yeah, keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like all of the mythic qualities that I assign to the other 6 films are pretty much absent here. Like I said, I call it the Marvelization, where it's designed to be a franchise to go on forever. And that's, sort of what this is. We don't really delve too deep into, who Rey is. The main character, Rey. Rey Skywalker? Who knows? Thought we might get an answer to that. Kylo Ren? What's his deal? Don't really know.
I think we totally know what his deal is.
But why? We don't... I don't feel that way. I mean, we know Kylo Ren is actually Ben Solo, son of Han Solo and Leia.
He trained with Luke.
Yeah, and betrayed him. But I don't know. Like I feel like I don't have a good handle on why or what. This feels like Episode VIII. Like there should have been something that told more about what happened between Return of the Jedi and this, because we're thrown into a whole lot here, and nothing feels as concrete as the Empire and the Rebellion. It's the New Order and the Resistance, and apparently some of the systems are in a Republic, I guess. But I mean, they sort of blow them away.
Yeah, everybody gets blown up in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, very disappointed.
I think it was, the questions that were left unanswered. I mean, I went in going in knowing that there's going to be questions left unanswered.
Sure.
I feel like the first Star Wars, there was a lot of questions unanswered.
Well, the first Star Wars stood as, a complete film.
Sure.
I mean, Darth Vader gets away at the end, but, that beyond that, I feel like everything is sort of, self-contained.
Yeah, it is.
And
I think mainly this film's pretty contained, other than that last shot.
Well, you need to have seen the original trilogy. I mean, obviously. I don't know anybody who thought this would be a self-contained film. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know. It feels, very, fan fiction-y. I can't get beyond that, really. That, I feel like there's no real author behind this, because like J.J. Abrams isn't working on the next one.
Yeah.
So I guess the questions that are raised in this are going to be answered by other filmmakers, which makes it, sort of like we're making this up as we're going along.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure there's Disney execs who are in charge of all this.
And I have a feeling he'll probably stay on as something. I don't know, though. I don't know. Yeah, that is a weird feeling, but at the same time, I'd like to believe that there's some sort of story pinpointed out.
Well, I mean, I would like to believe that too, but I don't think that there is.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a really great film. I thought it was funny, which, I feel the other films were kind of lacking. Star Wars, Empire, I guess a little bit of Jedi too. They had some humor in it, but this was more. It wasn't taking itself very seriously, but it was serious. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, fall down, stupid jokes. But it those prequels seemed very serious, and I liked the idea that this wasn't taking itself that serious. There was.
I would say some of the jokes worked.
Yeah, I mean, not all of them, of course, but I think, you know...
I kind of cringed harder at Finn saying the word boyfriend than at anything Jar Jar Binks has ever done.
Finn was a character.
I don't know, the word boyfriend does not belong in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, it was kind of...
He was an interesting character. Let's talk about the characters.
Okay, let's talk about Finn first, because...
Okay. I liked him in concept. I did not like him really in execution.
I liked him more as the film went along. Mm-hmm. Like, at first... because who Finn is, he's a stormtrooper. He was born and raised a stormtrooper, and he doesn't want to be, just killing people. So, he kind of battles with that in the first act, and then he's kind of like this, I guess, fugitive for the rest of the film, and then he decides, he's going to be a hero, and yeah, he's, I liked him, but yeah, I didn't love him.
The idea of, like, a stormtrooper turning good, that's a really good idea, and,
they don't really touch on it too much. I mean...
Yeah, also, like, he says to BB-8 at one point, hey, I'm not really with the Resistance, I'm just trying to get out of here. I feel like that conflict wasn't done very well. Like, it should have made it more... Like, we knew he was going to join the Resistance. There was no... I feel like in the original Star Wars, we didn't really have a handle on Han Solo until the end. He could have gone either way. This guy, we knew pretty much throughout the whole movie, he's going to be, a good guy who's going to join the Resistance and all that.
But I don't think that's because of poor filmmaking. I think that's because that's just how films are nowadays.
Well, they're poor.
No, like, there's a story that's set out, and everybody knows the story's pretty much going in.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I thought...
I mean, that kind of story of this guy that doesn't want to be a hero, but of course he's going to become a hero. Like, that's in every film.
Well...
Bruce Wayne didn't want to be a hero. He wanted to seek vengeance on his parents, and then he, decided that Gotham needed him.
Okay. I'm not sure I follow that. But, yeah, I mean, it could have been better. He was very jokey, which I thought was a little weird. For someone in his situation.
Which I think, he plays it pretty... I mean, even the jokes, he does play kind of straight. I mean, he's not, like, taking a minute to crack these jokes. He's, joking as things are happening. But, yeah, I did think he was a little more jokey than he needed to be. Mm-hmm. But he's probably my least favorite new character.
Well, let's talk about Poe Dameron.
Well, there wasn't enough of him, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
That's the character played by Oscar Isaac, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, he's an X-Wing pilot.
Best pilot around.
He is also very jokey, but I think he works better.
Yeah. Because he's kind of a badass, like...
He's sort of the Han Solo type?
I would think so. I mean, but
none of them really line up perfectly.
No.
Because, like, Han Solo is actually sort of split between all three in a weird way.
A little bit.
But he's... I guess all of them are sort of, amalgamations of both Han and Luke. Because, like, while he is sort of like Han Solo in the badass way, as you say, he's also like Luke in that, he's an X-Wing pilot.
Yeah, he's very professional in the state of the film. Like, we really only see him as an X-Wing pilot. There's a part where he crashes in the beginning, and I guess we don't even see him after the crash. We see him taking off, and that's kind of an interesting...
We kind of think he's dead.
Yeah.
We don't really.
Because we've seen the trailer, and but that is one thing where they kind of bring him back. They just bring him back, and I feel like there should have been at least one scene, because all of a sudden we just see him again. I'm like, all right, so either he didn't die or he's a clone. And I wasn't ruling either out, because I didn't know. But yeah, no, he's more of a professional kind of, like Finn and Rey, the girl who we'll talk about in a minute.
They're just
they're kind of fugitives and kind of the outsiders,
right?
Where Poe is more the, he fights for the Resistance, and he's a great pilot,
and he, like I said, he's jokey, but
it does work better because he's kind of,
yeah, it feels more ingrained into the character.
Like, his first joke is the first joke in the film, which is where Kylo Ren looks at him and he just says, okay, do you talk or do I talk?
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
It was a little... I wasn't expecting
Yeah, you don't expect somebody to like spit in the face of the Sith Lord.
But also I wasn't expecting jokes. Like I didn't think this movie was gonna be. I thought it was because I'm so used to the prequels for them being the more.
The prequels had jokes, but they were more slapstick.
Yeah. That's I wasn't.
This was more Marvel quippy.
Which I don't think there's a problem with, but that's just me. But yeah, no, Poe was pretty. I liked him, and I'd like to see what he's going to become in the next film, if he's even going to be in it. I mean, I'm sure he will, but
yeah, hopefully more. There'll be more of him. Because he's got the potential to be a great character. It's not realized in this film. I'll say that.
But I mean, he's not a bad character though.
Right. Yeah.
He's a good character.
But also, he's the X-wing pilot, and we have to have a Star Wars in our Star Wars movie. So the space battles are him really.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like the one that takes the charge.
There's some other chases, but as far as like battles go, he's the only one of our main cast who's fighting. And well, I'll talk about that later. But our other big third hero here is Rey. I feel like she's the one that works the best.
She's great.
I mean, she's the main character of this film.
Yeah, and obviously, I think going in, we all kind of think. I mean, at least I thought that there might be some sort of Jedi in her. I actually thought going in that she was going to be Han and Leia's daughter.
Yeah, that was a thought for a while, and then I don't know. Han would have said something.
Well, I mean, when they were together, because first off, when the Millennium Falcon shows up, I'm sure your crowd was probably a lot more rambunctious than my crowd.
Yes, very much so.
But when the Millennium Falcon showed up, everybody cheered, and it was pretty cool how they threw it in there, I thought.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Where it shows up. And, when Han and Chewie come aboard, I'm thinking in my head that Han is her father. So, I see their interactions. And they do have really good interactions. As
Yeah.
But that wasn't revealed to us in this film. I don't think she is.
No. I think she's Luke's.
I think she is
I think
too,
it's pretty obvious. But, something else I was going to say. Han is filling the role of Obi-Wan from A New Hope.
Yeah, he really is.
He's the mentor figure who bites it.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of people, obviously you just got back. So you haven't seen any of the criticism.
No.
Okay, but, the big one everyone's throwing around is that, it's just a copy of New Hope. And I agree, but that's not my problems with it. I feel like if the movie itself were better, it would be fine.
I don't think it's a copy of New Hope. I kind of disagree with that.
Well, there's a droid who has plans that
Sure.
the Empire's after. They've built a big old thing. But we have the mentor who dies, at a critical point. We have, there's just a lot,
there's similar.
The rendezvous with Leia, and she's got the big old map thing.
I mean, there's definitely similar aspects, obviously. But I think this one's. I think the original Star Wars is, definitely the best film in the franchise, obviously. But this one's a little more fun with the adventure of. Because Luke was very serious and kind of naive, where Rey, she can take care of herself.
Yeah, and she's sort of had to. Getting back to her character, she's been left behind on this planet. Why?
She believes that her family's going to return. Mm-hmm. She's a scavenger. She's, goes out and just gets kind of...
It's called Jakku, but it's really Tatooine 2.
Is that what you think?
Well, I'm saying... Okay, it's not... I'm Tatooine 2. The second coming.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is Tatooine. I'm saying that, it functions the same way that Tatooine did.
Mm-hmm. Poor, very poor.
Yeah, well, it's a desert planet.
Yeah. But yeah, I think she's kind of a little more interesting than Luke was at first, just because she can take care of herself. And, Luke was more... He knew there was this other world out there, and he wanted to see it. Where this character, doesn't really believe that there's another world out there. I think even when she sees, green grass, she says, I never thought. Everything's just kind of a myth to her. And I don't know. I liked her a little bit better. A lot of people get on Luke Skywalker in New Hope saying he's whiny, which I don't think he is.
Yeah. I mean, in the parts where he is, that's his character, and he's going to grow as the movie goes on.
So I kind of liked, this character a little bit better than him in the original, just because she could take care of herself, and she wasn't as wide-eyed, I guess. She was more, the world sucks.
All right, she's not really like that. I do disagree with that.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though. Like, she's not... I don't know. This is it has adventures.
Luke grew up with an uncle and aunt. She's growing up on her own.
Yeah, with nobody.
And, she...
living in an ATT.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Especially, the 30 minutes are my favorite parts of the movie, where we have, all the Star Wars toys buried under the sand, and
it's just J.J. Abrams' sandbox.
And at first,
from when he was a kid, he was like, "Yeah, I can make a movie here."
It's very, like I said, the first 30 minutes I liked a lot, but then, I felt like the movie didn't really. I felt like the movie wasn't really saying anything with what it was doing. Let's jump ahead a little bit. We meet Han Solo. Well, let's talk about Kylo Ren for just a split second.
Kylo Ren. Okay.
Yeah, he's the big bad in this.
But he's like Vader. He answers to somebody still.
Yeah, Supreme Leader Snoke.
Kylo Ren wants to finish what Vader started,
which was what?
Dark side ruling all, I believe, and their whole point is to get Luke Skywalker to kill him. Well, the whole point is they want to find Luke to kill Luke. I think to finish Darth Vader's. I mean, Darth Vader thought Luke could come over to his side, and the dark side would be stronger then. I think now they see this one beacon of hope out there being Luke. And their idea is that if we kill him, the dark side will rule everything. To destroy all the Jedi, basically. And it sounds like there are no more Jedis. Right. Yeah, because he was training some, and then that whole thing fell apart. Probably because of Kylo Ren. Yeah. It's, heavily implied. But Kylo Ren's the bad guy. He's got... I was very impressed in his first scene how he stops the blaster blast in, just... mid-shot, because that was like how can we show how powerful he is with the Force? This is something we haven't seen. Yeah. Vader could deflect things with his hands. Sure. But just to stop it like that was really cool. I like Kylo Ren. There's another scene where he uses the Force. I just want to bring up, which I thought kind of looked weird at first. Where it's later on in the film, Rey holds a gun towards him, and he makes her put her hand basically back. And the way it looked, it was just kind of like, whoa, that was really powerful. And I was like, I don't know if I liked that at first. Because, it was different than what we've seen. But then I'm like, well, maybe he's just that powerful of, a Jedi or whatever the bad Jedis are called. Well, they're the Knights of Ren. Yeah. But, he still isn't as powerful as I think he wants to be. And I definitely not. Although he doesn't realize he actually is a whole lot like Anakin Skywalker, and that he's a pretty whiny, emotional guy, much like how Anakin was in the prequels. He's very much the next extension of Darth Vader. We were saying that he wants to continue with Darth Vader, didn't finish. I feel like nobody has a clear handle on Darth Vader. Well, I think he is a myth. Yeah. They're just following what they think. I'm sure Luke, when he was training him, didn't tell him everything. Obviously. Yeah, he probably found all this stuff out. Star Wars Wikipedia. The way I'm talking. We're still just theory crafting, which is the problem, with the movie, in my opinion, is that, there aren't...
enough answers. Like there's just enough hype to get you excited for the next one, because then maybe you'll find out something.
I don't know. I mean, I think this one is a fine. Yes, it ends where there's a follow up, but if I never see the next one, I'll be okay. Because I feel like this one was good enough. I mean, it was, I really enjoyed it and had fun with it. That it's not. I don't know. It's not to the extent of like a Lord of the Rings. Where obviously we knew there was gonna be 3, but where the first one ends and they still had the ring. It's like, I didn't get rid of it. I gotta watch the next 2. This one I feel this is bringing the gang together, and I don't know. I liked it. I mean, I really liked it. I hate that you didn't like it, because I don't know.
Well, let's get back to something I do like.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about
that. Okay. Originally, I was, seeing Han Solo in the trailers and stuff. I was like, I don't like it. Because, I feel, again, like, if I were doing it in an ideal world, I would call this Episode 10. Have it set so far in the future that all the people are gone. And that way, you can do something truly on your own. Mm-hmm. Also, you don't sort of retroactively take away their happy ending. I feel like, the original trilogy, it tells a complete story.
Sure.
And added with the prequels, it's one whole story of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But,
of course.
So I was thinking that. However, I kind of like the idea of Kylo Ren being Han Solo's son, because before we were dealing with, the bad father, and now we have to deal with the bad son.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a new thing where the child is now the villain, and how do you deal with that? It's one thing to deal with your father as a villain.
Sure.
Now your child is a villain, and I think now a lot of Star Wars fans are parents themselves. I think it's almost like giving them a new thing to relate to. They could relate to, being Luke. Now they have to relate to being a father. So, dealing with, a child that you loved and seeing them turn out bad, and like at first I was like, why is Han on his own? I want him.
Yeah.
I want him.
He's like back to his old smuggling ways.
I wanted him with Leia, but then it started thinking, no, there's things that do happen in your life later that change things.
And I think,
and like just
their son is the main reason they're.
Yeah, knowing how that all, you see it in their eyes when they're talking. So I'll tell you a quick funny theater story. When Han Solo came on, huge cheers.
Sure.
When Leia came on, just one person clapping. And she's fine. I mean,
she is fine, and I was a little worried about her because, I wasn't.
She's not as. It's not as great seeing her again as it is Han Solo.
She's the boss now, and she's got a nice chunk in it, but it isn't as. Han Solo was in a lot of this, which.
I really liked.
I really liked too, but at the same time, he does seem older. Mm-hmm. It's not the Han Solo of.
I like that though. I think that they did carry his character into a later age, and I believed it.
Yeah.
I believed that if he were put in this situation, this is how he would be. His son turning evil, and then it wrecking his
life.
Yeah, his love with Leia.
Yeah.
That, he's going to go back to what he knew how to do, as he said at one point.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was, I really do like Harrison Ford. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like, maybe this was too much action for him. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. He wasn't a big chunk of it, and I think he handled it very... It was nice to see him with these younger, characters and actors, because it I see what you're saying about saying it, with none of the same characters from, and I agree with that to an extent. Obviously, that would make it, I think, a lot easier, and definitely not upset a lot of fans. But I don't think there was ever a way they would have done that. I mean, they had to.
I guess not.
I think even if Lucas did this, I think that he probably would have had.
Yeah, because his thing was Darth Vader's grandchildren. That's what he wanted. That's the story he wanted to tell. And it's kind of told in this. Maybe. I mean, Rey might be a grandchild of Vader. It seems heavily implied.
She has the Force, and she's very powerful, but...
I feel like there's no reason why Luke at the very end shouldn't have said, "I'm your father." He has no lines.
By the way, this dude gets second billing in this film.
I know.
And he is in maybe a minute.
Yeah.
Doesn't speak. Literally just takes his hood off. That's all he does. It was cool.
It was nice.
He's looking old too.
He looks a lot like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But I had read, like, I had known too much, and then, like, for a week, I unplugged from the internet. I was like, because I already know too much. There's too big of a chance of me seeing something. So I had read that he had 2 lines.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was, too few. He has none.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Let's get back to...
Okay, back to what we're talking about. Han. Chewie's Chewie. He doesn't do a whole lot here.
He's looking old, too.
Yeah.
There's no C-3PO. He shows up a little bit later. He's with Leia.
Oh.
And he's kind of just...
Well, this again goes to what I don't like about the movie, where he's like, you probably didn't recognize me because of my red arm. It's a funny story. Be sure to buy the comic book that tells you. And then
is there a comic book about it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there is. But then there's I forget her name.
Who cares? Like, why do you care that he has a red arm and he says that?
Hold on, stop. There's another scene with the woman who's running the pirate place, where, why do you have this lightsaber? Oh, that's a crazy story. I can't tell you. Be sure to watch some more. Watch another movie. Maybe we'll tell you. Because, like, the originals didn't have that, where, it's all just tease and hype to make people consume. That's what it is.
I don't care.
All right.
Like,
well, I mean, I do.
Why do I care that C-3PO's arm's red? Why do I care?
I don't care.
She has the lightsaber. It makes sense to me that she would have the lightsaber because she's this character that...
Really? Because it was lost at the bottom of Cloud City, with Luke's severed hand last we saw it.
Okay. Well, this woman is a smuggler as well. There's no reason why she wouldn't have gotten that and then hid it in this room.
I don't know. Well, it was all just like little things where they say, "Oh, that's a crazy story," but they don't, tell you. It's like I said, just hype for tie-in products and so forth.
I don't know. I think you're thinking too much about this.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, what else did you like about the movie?
I'm thinking.
Well, I'll tell you what I liked about it.
All right.
I like that Kylo Ren doesn't wear his mask the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought that made him a little more human.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the scene towards the end with Han. Obviously that wouldn't have worked as well if he had the mask on. But the one thing I really loved is the final battle between him and Rey.
It was cool looking.
I think it's great looking. I think it's done very well. Again, he doesn't have his mask on for this, which is kind of his weakness in it. It would have been fine, I think, if he had it. I don't know. I like the idea of this bad guy without a mask.
Yeah, because
she even says something about hiding behind the mask.
He has no reason to be wearing it like Vader did. Like, Vader couldn't live if he didn't have it on.
Yeah.
This guy, though, he wants to be that so badly that, he'll...
Yeah, he doesn't, Darth Maul didn't have a mask. He had...
face paint.
Yeah, which I think was just a skin, though, wasn't it? Is that what we're led to believe?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know. They never mentioned it.
Right.
But, yeah, it was very interesting to see, this villain's face. And, he didn't need it. That is a good point you make, because, Vader did, And I think the final scene is the final showdown between him and Rey, where she's learning to have that, she has these powers and all. I think it's really great. It's like there's snow falling. It's in the forest.
Snow. I should have known.
I love the snow, and I think it's done really well. I really thought he wasn't gonna make it.
Who?
Kylo Ren.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I
thought Finn was dead. I thought he was gonna get.
Finn gets hit with the lightsaber up his spine, I believe.
Yeah,
so I don't
he's
think
fine.
He's walking. I don't know if he's gonna be walking again.
Really? Okay.
Well, I mean, the way he did it, it looked like he went right up his spine, and he never wakes up. I mean, we know he's alive, and she leaves him to go find Luke Skywalker. But I don't know, man. I feel like, I don't know. They can give people hands, so maybe they can give them
spines.
Yeah, but it looked like it hurt, and I wasn't sure if he. I assumed he probably was going to make it. Obviously.
I mean, let's talk about the big one. Han Solo gets killed.
Yeah. Trying to reconnect with his son, and
yeah, that whole scene was, I thought, pretty powerful.
I thought it was great. I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah. I definitely, but also, I thought
the guy behind me at the theater did not.
There was some guy sitting in front of me who just yelled out, "No!"
Yeah,
and it's just like
got a lot of that.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, with that death, it does feel like that was like the one main character death. So, like, at first I thought that killing Finn would be, like, a really gutsy move, to take out more than one character. But, yeah, Han, and, the scene is sort of reminiscent of Empire, where Luke gets his hand severed. It's also, of course, invoking Obi-Wan's death.
Sure.
But the reason why it's powerful is because... Okay, so I'm going to compliment it and insult it at the same time.
I would expect nothing less.
The reason why it sort of affected me is because it didn't have a mythic resonance, but that's also my problem with the film entirely. You can scoff all you want.
I didn't scoff at all.
Well, you're going to scoff at me.
No.
You can scoff at me all you want when I say that, Luke getting his hand cut off is a castration metaphor.
Oh, yeah.
Lucas has said that. That's not me just making stuff up. I mean, you can buy it or not. But, I feel like there's none of that here. However, it is pretty powerful because of what I was saying earlier about Han being a father trying to reconnect with his son. So, like, on a human level, it's, it really worked.
And see, I think Han, he knows his son's a lost cause. And that's why I think he's giving up or whatever.
Leia said, bring our son back. He kind of has this look like, that's not happening.
Yeah. But he's like, you know what? Maybe she's right. And, of course, she wasn't. But...
Well, regardless, if you're a father, you have to.
Sure.
And
I love the scene because as soon as it happens, she feels it.
Mm-hmm.
She knows it's happened. And, I like that idea that she still has that force, doesn't look like she can do tricks or anything, but she at least has this feeling that can, come about. But yeah, I thought that was a very good scene, and I think I was happy that Han died just because Harrison Ford's getting old, and as cool as it would be for him to be in the next two. This might be the smart idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're
kill Chewbacca too.
I really don't like thinking like that though, because you're thinking like an executive,
Well, I'm thinking like
I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, this was a good move by Disney to reinvigorate the franchise. It didn't do a whole lot different, but it did a lot so that the franchise can continue." It's just like I feel like a bunch of board members sitting around a table discussing how they can make money. Who cares? Like,
I think it's something that they have to take in consideration. I mean,
sure, but I'm not a business person, and
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I think it's something that they do need to consider, and they did it very well. I mean, this is a great scene that happened in the film. This might have been what they had planned from the get-go, to kill Han off the way he did. But I just always think of The Sopranos and what that could have been if that lady lived. I mean, it's still great, but I feel like there's probably even a better story
I don't know. I mean, obviously I've thought about that too because I'm a big Sopranos fan.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, obviously we shouldn't think like that.
Right.
But
I mean, they could have recast her if that's what they really wanted to do.
Yeah, I guess they could have.
I feel like didn't they recast somebody in that show?
I'm not sure.
All right.
That'll be for
our
one.
Sopranos cast coming someday.
I'll have to rewatch the series.
But anyway, I did think that the final fight against the Star Killer, is that what it's called? Star Killer base?
Yeah, I think so.
The final actual fight was kind of sloppy. Like there was nothing where it was like the trench run and we got it actually happened and I didn't even realize because stuff started blowing up. I was like, I guess they did it.
Yeah, the one thing that I thought was interesting about this film and the original trilogy was I feel like the original trilogy, each ending, or maybe just the last two films, Jedi and Empire, or maybe just Jedi, I don't know. But there was 3 different endings happening. Like there's the one where they're trying to blow up the Death Star. There's the fight. There's something else happening.
Because there's the Ewok.
Yeah.
And there's
these 3 things happening. Where in this,
and then in Phantom Menace actually they did 4.
Yeah.
There's lightsaber. There's Padme. There's Binks. And there's Anakin.
Yeah. I mean, where this one was more, there was 2 really, but the fight was the main one. Yeah. The X-wings wasn't really. Yeah, it was cool, but it just kind of didn't happen.
Yeah, in A New Hope, the music reaches this big crescendo. You know exactly what's happening, and it's a big old victory thing. I did kind of like how it became a star. That was kind of an interesting thing.
Oh, did it?
It didn't just blow up. It became because it had been sucking up that sun.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. Kind of a new visual thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did think this was by far the weakest when it came to the score. I was really disappointed with the music in this. Aside from Rey's theme, which I really like, there was no theme in this that I would want to listen to outside of the movie.
I can kind of agree with that, but I will say that I feel the original Star Wars, the music wasn't as overpowering as it was in Empire and Jedi. Because I remember watching that and thinking that, because I like the music and I remember thinking, this iconic theme that we've, and obviously it's there, but I feel like in Empire and Jedi, it's more powerful and
maybe, but I feel like
this one was a little bit.
Every movie sort of gave a new iconic theme to add. Because the Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme, we don't hear until Empire.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then I don't know.
You get rub-a-dub-a-dub or whatever that the Ewoks do.
Yub-nub.
Yub-yub.
The final choir in the lightsaber fight is one that I always go back to. The Emperor's theme is pretty cool. And Phantom Menace, we have Duel of the Fates. Attack of the Clones, I can't think of anything. Revenge of the Sith has a ton. That's probably the one I've listened to the most outside of the movies.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this one has a little bit, and
it feels Star Warsy, I'll say that, but it does not... Like I said, aside from Rey's theme, there's nothing that I really want to listen to.
The only time I could really think of that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, was when the only time actually where you see Darth Vader's.
Oh.
And it has the theme from, of Darth Vader, but it's a little quieter.
Yeah, a little somber.
I guess, but I don't know, I was so really into the film that, I didn't take notice as much, that's something that is something when I rewatched the original Star Wars I wanted to take notice of, because I was thinking to myself, this was this small film that no one really knew what was going to be. Is that score, obviously I know it's great, but was there as much of it as, I believed there would be, and there wasn't in the original as much as there was in, the next 2. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, I didn't really take notice other than that one scene with Vader's mask. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's I don't know. So
I can't think of anything else.
I don't know, I really I don't know, like I said, I liked it a lot. I wasn't expecting to like it. I was expecting to like it. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I think what Abrams brought to it was, and you know, I think any other filmmaker that would have done it, you know, just loosened it up a little bit, where it wasn't, because I do feel like those prequels are pretty darn serious, and that kind of always made me get kind of like, because I didn't know what was going on, you know, because they'd be talking, I'm like,
they're very tightly structured. I'll say that. You know, Lucas always wanted to direct. He always tried to direct them very rigidly. Mm-hmm. You know, I think. You know, like I said, you know, in the last one I rewatched them. I think they work. But yeah, I mean,
I feel like this one's a little. It's looser. It's more of a kind of fugitives on the run type thing. I think Ray is great. I think she's really awesome, and I'm really excited to see her continue. You know, Finn was fine, but when, you know, like, she was, you know, obviously the main focus of the film, and I think she delivered very well, actually. So I don't know, man. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm really upset that you didn't like it.
Yeah, it was.
But I feel like you.
It was strange that I don't know. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy more than this.
But you had so much.
I didn't though.
Anxiety towards the film.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, you kind of hated this idea from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Well, I mean, like,
that's why I wanted you to like it, because.
Well, the first 30 minutes, I thought, you know, oh, this is gonna be good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad film, really. But you know, it's not one I really liked. Again, this is my first impression.
Yeah, I mean, you
things change. Sure, I mean, you know, I've gone back and forth on the prequels so many times, although I did initially love them when I came out of those. I don't know, like, all the things that I love in Star Wars, you know, the themes, the ideas, you know, what is the film saying, I felt like weren't there. You know, I feel like this isn't really commenting on our times, as I feel like all the other films have. Again, I don't feel any mythic resonance. You know, when Vader cuts off Luke's hand, it's a big thing about, you know, your father not letting you grow up. You know, your father holding you back from being a man. I felt none of that, like, deeper thing in this film. And it's weird that I'm using an example from Empire when A New Hope's my favorite.
Sure.
But it's still, I mean, I love them all. But I didn't love this one. And I don't know what else to say.
No.
Okay.
This will be our only movie show. Because I can't take negativity like this. I feel like you always look for a point of a film, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But I feel like, and you can delete this if you want, I don't care. This is just me talking to you. But, like, do you ever just find a film and just like, wow, I had a lot of fun with that?
But the fun is in finding the meaning.
No, like, do you ever just go to a movie? I mean, you go to a lot of movies that you don't necessarily want to see. You know, you do it for, you know, whatever reasons. And, like, you know, like something like Love the Coopers, you know, you're like, you know, it wasn't bad, you know.
Yeah, I did end up liking that movie.
But, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I went in to this film thinking either A, I'm going to have a good time and I'm going to enjoy myself, or, like, the prequels, which, you know, I had moments where I enjoyed myself, there's going to be a lot of, like, just junk that I don't care about or understand, and I might get bored. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I was not bored at all in this movie. I was really there the whole time, and the first 30 minutes I was like, man, I don't know if this thing's going to move as fast as I want it to. But I mean, once...
Well, it's weird that...
Yeah, I know. Once the Millennium Falcon shows up, I'm like, you know... I don't know, man. I just went in and I had a lot of fun, and I think it was a really fun film. And yes, maybe there isn't those moments of meaning like the original ones had. But, you know, we've had 30 years to look at those and you know, find those things and see things that we didn't possibly see the first time. Like, I feel like this was the first Star Wars. You would have went in and just had fun. And then you might have went back and been like, oh man, I didn't even think about this, but this means this and and Vietnam. And, I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of the times, I feel like you critique films a little bit too hard. Like, I just want you to have fun sometimes, man. I just want you to be happy sometimes, man.
I am happy.
I know, but
I
wanted nothing more than you to really like this film.
This movie made me go
that
back.
was my Christmas gift. That's what I wanted. I wouldn't wish for snow this year.
We're not getting it. Global warming has seen to that.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Thanks, Death Star. But yeah, I don't know, man. I
don't know. It made me go back, rewatch these movies again, and made me reaffirm my love for them.
And I think you'll see this one, a few more times. And I hope that you find more things that you like about him.
Well, I mean, in talking with you, I actually had more good things to say than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't leave angry. I left disappointed.
I'm disappointed, man. I really am. The thing I do love about our friendship is that, you see a lot of movies, and you every time you see a movie, you'll text me and say, hey, I saw this, and give me a grade.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a grade that, just walking out of the theater, so he hasn't really had time to process it. And I always love it when it's a movie like Captain America, Winter Soldier, which I loved, and you went in with your whole Marvel was Satan. But then you came out and you were like, I'm sorry, it's pretty good, I liked it. And I was like, oh man, I'm glad. Because I just want you to be happy.
I'm glad my happiness means so much to you. But, I don't know. I mean, you're joking around here. At the same time...
I'm being 100% serious.
I know, but we're laughing.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, that's how we are. I don't know. If I am negative, I don't want it to... I don't know, affect you, where you get mad.
Well, I said I really loved it, and you said I fucking hated it. Where am I supposed to go with that?
Well,
out the door. That's where I'm going.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. If you had said you didn't like it, I still would have said that line. It
was a good line.
Good way to open these things.
I don't know. I really hope. Oh, sorry. I really hope you see it again, which I'm sure you will, and I hope that you come out of it liking it a little bit better. I mean, obviously, you left disappointed, but what if you were to grade it? I mean, is it getting a C at least?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's not dipping down to the D's or F's.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I see C movies or D movies that I like.
Sure.
So while I would grade this higher than those, that doesn't mean I really liked it. Because it gets into a place where the movie works.
The movie works completely, I think.
And I know, the general audiences will like it, but on a deeper intellectual level, I feel like it's, there's nothing there. And...
It's a popcorn movie, is what you're trying to say, kind of.
A little bit,
it's the Twister of 2015.
Earlier this year, we saw a little movie called Mad Max Fury Road.
Sure.
It's the greatest movie of the year. It has a ton of fun, and it has a ton of meaning behind it too. I don't think those two things, are exclusionary.
Where a lot of people, average moviegoers, would disagree with you about Mad Max. They would just say it's just an action film. I've seen that a lot since Oscar nominations are people are like, is it gonna get nominated? And people are like, it's just an action movie. I don't see. For me, I mean, I don't know if I would say it's the best movie of the year or not. It's
This year hasn't been good.
This year's been terrible. I've given 5 stars to a lot of things, but I'm like, I don't know, I wouldn't tell people about that. I've seen 85 films from this year alone, and I can only think of 3 that I'm confident saying are great. Years from now, I'll defend still, and Mad Max is one of those. I do, for me though, action or not, that's a film that's. It's a ride, man.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of ideas in it.
And it does have ideas.
It's got a lot to say about society and, our culture and everything. And I don't really see where Force Awakens is saying.
No, I don't think it is. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, I think it is because I think the last 6 movies all had something to say. And that's, really where I'm at.
Yeah.
But...
Well, hopefully you've seen it and you agree with one of us. Feel free to put in the comments which one.
Yeah. We are a show where you have to agree with one or the other.
Yeah, because we don't agree. But, I don't know, man. Like I said, it was fun.
Yeah, well, did you like doing these?
I did enjoy this until you...
Until today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I hated it.
Like I said in some of the other ones, in January I'm going to be starting another channel, and anything movie related will be going there. I'll put up a link here on Super Bros if anyone's interested.
I'm possibly starting something as well.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on everything.
But yeah, I mean, this is fun. The other reason I don't like doing this so much is I think we both take what we take away from the films very seriously. Like, I really liked it, and you really didn't, and I felt like I wanted to punch you, and I felt like you wanted to punch me for a minute there. So.
Well, no, I didn't know where it was going.
I was going like this.
I was a little scared there for a minute, to be honest, because I do think that the fact that we disagree is something we should capitalize on. Because most people out there, they do a show with their friends, they agree on everything.
Sure.
So I think we're pretty unique in that way.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't want to be, ruining friendships.
Well, you know me, I get over things kind of easily.
Really?
I take a nap. Usually I'm okay after that. But, yeah, we might do this again then.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
thanks for joining us. May the Force be with you.